And you know what I really like though? The fact that you have a past guest, like from a wedding, answer the phone immediately, call you back, and just hop on the call. And you know what? Coming up next, you know who we got?
I don't.
We got the director of How Farms calling in.
Ooh.
On our very first episode.
Is she actually going to call you?
She's going to call. I'm waiting on the call right now. We got 5 minutes to burn. So you want to tell another one of your long stories that's not a story?
I want to change my glasses because I got my reading glasses on. Hold on.
No wonder your eyes look so big for a second.
Damn. Okay.
This is amazing, people. This is amazing. Hello there. Hey, Sunshine, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hey, buddy. How's it going?
How you doing? You want to introduce yourself really quick?
Yes, I am Heidi Ingersoll. I'm the executive director of How Farms.
Hey, Heidi.
Hey, Reese. How's it going, man?
That's the producer.
Duddy's bullying me over here.
Well, it sounds like another day in the office for you.
That's all right. That's about. Tell him again. Say that one more time so you can understand how this thing goes around here.
I think the bully part was the one I was focusing on. You're supposed to be nice to him.
Be nice to me.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, this has been one great day so far. We just had a former bride on, and she was telling us about How Farms and booking and how she went about it. Now, with you being the director at How Farms, and I know you all got all those like really cool venues, right? So my question to you is, when a bride first shows up, what's like normally the process when a bride inquires or shows up wanting to get the perfect venue of her? And before you answer that, I want you to know a recent bride once told me recently, that coming to How Farms was like the Disneyland of wedding venues.
Well, we try. Typically we get a lot of different ways that brides reach out to us. It could be through email, it could be through social media, it could be through downloading our brochure, and we try and get information before they come, so we have a good idea of what venues they're looking at and what date. If the venue that they are looking at, their date is set and they're not interested in looking at any other dates, we might not have that available. And so we at least want them to know ahead of time if they have their heart set on something. So they may choose another venue. Sometimes they fall in love with the venue so much that they will change their date that they thought they were set on. So you never know. But when they show up, we like to have a good idea of what they're looking for as far as their style, their guest count. And usually a lot of these brides have really researched us and know almost as much information as we do before they arrive.
Wow.
Depending, because it's a big day for them. And some of them have watched us for several years on social media, waiting for the opportunity to get married here. And so we have a lot of them that are really educated, but they come in, we're greeted, and then we take them on tours. And we actually have just changed. We were taking them on tours in the vintage cars, but now we've decided to retire those and have those be showpieces that they can use as add-ons. And we actually have a fleet of Jeeps now that we're taking our clients on tours. Yeah, we have a bunch of Jeeps now. We just got
the Jurassic Park Jeeps.
No, they're white and pretty, like brides. They like that. They love to have, everything still wedding. So when you have the white Jeep, we just got to keep them clean on these dusty roads, which, is a challenge. And then we actually have a white Escalade as well. So we try and give them the royal treatment. We want every bride to feel important and special and have that experience where they're, taken on a tour. We call it the How Farms experience. Our goal is for it to be an experience and not just a tour, where they get to see the property, they get to see the venue, they get to understand all the things that we have to offer. And then, also even talk about the additional things they can get outside of our packages or the day rental. And we also try to make sure that we are catering to a bride's budget as well and talking to them ahead of time about, maybe some options that might be a better fit for their budget too. So we try and go about it in a lot of different ways to be as tailor make our tours as possible to each individual bride.
Man, you
and couple.
I'm telling you, you're like a wealth of knowledge when it comes to this wedding stuff, I tell you. That's amazing.
Well, I will tell you there was a steep learning curve because I got here and we went from 2 venues to 5 in 6 months. I had to learn a lot in a short period of time.
How many venues is it now? Is it what, 7 or 8?
So we have 7 in the Tennessee location. So we have 2 separate farms in Tennessee, and they're just a couple miles apart. So we have 4 on the original Howe Farms property and 5 Gables. We have 3 venues. And then we also have a location in Tunnel Hill, Georgia, where we have a venue there as well. And our goal is to hopefully expand that property at some point. I don't know what the timeline is on that, but we would love to have 1 or 2 more venues there as well.
Can you list off those properties for people that may not know?
Sure.
Which I know most people do know.
Yeah.
But I mean,
so on Howe Farms, the original property is the vineyard, and we actually just did some renovations to that, and we're still in the process of doing a few other things. It's 10 years old, and so we're trying to give it a little facelift. But that's the original venue, opened in 2014. In 2016, the Apple Barn opened on Howe Farms property. And then 2020, we opened the chapel, and that's on the main property as well. And then actually in 2024, we opened Water into Wine, which actually is very unique in this area. We're calling it for a family size wedding. So somebody that's not wanting to do just an elopement, but they want to have the people that are closest to them there. So you can have 50 to 60 guests at that venue. At 5 Gables, we have the Loft, which opened in July of 2020, the Pavilion, which opened in September of 2020, and then the Woodlands, which opened in September of 2021. So we've been busy. And then in 2022, we bought Circle B, which was the property in Georgia, and we have renamed it and put kind of our Howe Farms branding on it. So it's now known as Clisby Pine. So we kind of did some renovations and a little bit of a facelift on that property as well. And so that's at our Tunnel Hill location. And then on top of that, we actually have, between all 3 of the properties, we actually have 11 homes that can be rented for couples and wedding guests.
Interesting. I did not even realize, I thought the Apple Barn was the oldest venue, so it's the vineyard.
Yes. So I don't know if you know the history of that. So Don and Talene Howe were high school sweethearts and broke up and went on and they married other people, and that didn't work out, and they reconnected later in life. And when they decided to get married and they were looking at venues, they decided that they loved the views on their farm better than anywhere. And so they renovated Don's hobby barn and turned it into their wedding venue in 3 months. Wow. So that's how the vineyard came to be. So when after they'd done all those renovations, they're like, we really need to try and rent this out to people. And they found out they're actually really good at this wedding business thing. And so we've been expanding ever since. And so, yeah, the property has grown, and we're constantly trying to improve ourselves and what we do. And we are very different than other venues in that we run our facility more like a condo rental. You have the code, you come in, you have an exit checklist you complete, but we actually aren't there day of except for in the event of an emergency. And what's nice about that is that you don't have somebody that's constantly breathing over you, telling you what to do, what not to do, don't do this, don't do that. And I mean, it's probably best that we don't know some of the things that have happened at our venues.
No comment.
It's probably a little more stressful. But I mean, if those walls could talk, I'm sure we would have a lot of good stories.
Oh yeah. Don't let Reese tell
well, you guys know because you're actually there during the event.
That's right.
But yeah, we're unique too in that we have vendor freedom. The only the vendor that we require off of our list is our bartenders, and we do prefer them to get DJs and planners off of our list. I mean, we strongly encourage that. And there is an exception form they have to fill out. And part of it is we live out in the country, and so we want our DJs to know our sound policy. And planners really need to know that, that we want them to come out here. They need to see the property ahead of time. Our goal is to make sure that, our couples days go as smoothly as possible. And having great vendors is such a huge part of that.
Yeah. But I mean, I'll put it this way. When you Google wedding venues, whether it's Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, Southeast, South, Howe Farms pops up number one. So that means that your marketing is beyond bonkers as far as being on point, correct?
So, what's really interesting about that, I mean, we have a company that we work with. We have a really strong SEO on Google. So there's that. But so many couples are finding us on social media. Our social media presence is really strong. And so, we have incredible photographers that will send us wedding albums of these couples. And they love being featured on our Instagram or our TikTok. And, so we try and stay up with current trends. But we're able to share our couples, and then they reshare on top of that. And the other thing that is unique is that we tag every single one of our vendors in each photo, even if that particular vendor and their work might not be featured in it. We want to tag them because that's actually how some of our couples find their vendors. And our vendors are really, really important to us. So much a part of our success is having great vendors. I always say that the venue either gets all of the credit or all of the blame.
Yeah.
If a vendor doesn't do a good job, somebody will write a review and assume that it's our planner or our florist or our caterer. But the opposite is true. When they have a great experience, we get that. And they're like, Howe Farms is amazing. Every vendor that we worked with was incredible. We had the best day, the best experience. And really our vendors are a huge part of that. And we're very grateful for, we work with so many incredible vendors, and we're very blessed that we get to build those relationships and, share all of you with our clients.
That makes sense. So I know, all right, let's put this in a mind frame right now. Picture me as a young lady named Angie.
Oh, wow. Hold on. It didn't take much. I got right to that picture.
I'm having bad thoughts right now.
Oh, man. All right, here we go. Here's the scenario.
Okay.
It is 2025, though.
Yeah, it is. I'm a young, beautiful blonde named Angie, and I come to Howe Farms, and I have a big folder full of my vision board stuff of all my things I want from a wedding and how dreamy it is. And I've been planning this since I was maybe, 16, 17 years old. And the right guy came along, and let's just assume his name is Chuck. And Chuck says, hey, Angie, I want to. Why are you laughing? This is a real story. I'm telling you right here.
Angie and Chuck?
Angie and Chuck. And Angie says, yeah, I want to marry you. Now, Angie comes up to Howe Farms. She's been researching Howe Farms forever, and she loves everything about Howe Farms. I have my whole vision board. Boom. Bring it to you. Drop it on your table. Bam. It's there. Where do we start?
So the first thing we have to look at is figuring out what venue fits your vision, and then finding a date that works for you. And that date may be based on your vision, but it also may be based on your budget. A lot of people are opposed to weekday weddings, but we actually do a lot of weekday weddings here. And, it makes a bride that's on a tighter budget, and makes our venues feasible for them. So all of a sudden they're like, yeah, I'll get married on a Thursday in October. I can afford that in my budget. And all of a sudden this opportunity is open to them that wasn't before. And so, that's the thing. So obviously you can't do anything till you have a date and a venue. And then, starting to, work with vendors. We have couples that ask us, because sometimes we give them all our preferred vendor list, which is extensive, and sometimes they're overwhelmed. But we can use that vision board and help them. Like, okay, well, who can help me? Who creates this look? What florist creates this look? Yeah. And we can give them 3 or 4 florists. Like, hey, these are great options. Like, I've seen their work. They can absolutely do this look for you. Or rentals, for example. Some people are really wanting vintage pieces. Well, we do have vintage pieces because we have the decor rooms in each venue, but they're incredible vendors. For example, Copper Quail comes to mind, that create a really unique look and feel to an event with some of their rentals. We have so many different vendors that we can recommend to help tailor make that look. And that's another thing that vendor freedom really gives you too, is sometimes when you require a specific caterer or a specific florist or specific rentals, or that they can only use your things, weddings can kind of start to look like each other. And, with you being able to choose your vendors, it really makes it unique to you. Plus, you can help it fit in your budget. For example, you're like, hey, I can, I have a friend that's, really good with, making those signs that they're doing the seating charts with the mirrors, or my dad's really handy. So I can save money there, but I can put more money into my DJ, or I can put more money into my photographer. Some of our couples want to use Chick-fil-A for catering because it's good food. Everybody loves it. Nobody's mad about Chick-fil-A, but they can save a lot of money that they could put into other things that are more important to them.
Yeah,
For some,
that's
it's
God's
the party
chicken
and
right
having
there.
a great DJ, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've never had anybody that's mad about eating pizza or having Chick-fil-A, but it really just depends on your budget.
Yeah, don't
Some
sleep on the
people really
Publix
want
fried
the
chicken now,
high-end-
Heidi.
Yes. Well, I
There's
will
some
just tell
Champions.
you,
It's the Molly's, yeah.
we do. I mean, you've seen everything at weddings. There's high-end, very plated, more formal, kind of settings, which is great. And that's a beautiful wedding. But also, the wedding that is relaxed and fun, and they just want something simple. And what they want to do is dance and take pictures and hang out with their friends. And that's the most important thing to them. So, all of those things, we can help direct them to vendors that will tailor make that day for them.
So based on that answer, when the bride comes in with the vision board, again, I'm Angie, by the way, and I come in with that vision board, and you pretty much actually start the planning process for them based on what you just said.
So it just depends. We encourage them to get a planner, really. I mean, a planner is worth every penny, and you guys know this too.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
In working in weddings, how important that is for making the day go smoothly. Now, I will tell you that we have had family friends that have crushed it before as planners.
Mm-hmm.
But there is something to having a professional that works in this industry doing that. Really, as far as the planning process, if somebody comes through and is asking, I will direct them to this. But typically the first person I tell them to get is a planner, especially too for somebody that is not local. I highly encourage them to get a local planner, because, they can connect them to local vendors as well. We have brides coming from New York and California and Michigan and Ohio and Florida and, Washington State and, all over the country. And so knowing their resources here is really helpful. And having a professional wedding planner is a huge asset and making all of your wedding dreams come true. You don't want to have to worry about things on your day. You want to go and just get to enjoy it. So we try not to do too much of the planning process, but we do try to really direct them to vendors that we think will be a good fit for them. Sometimes it's just on their personal taste or personality or, budget or whatever that may be. But we really want the planners to do the bulk of that work.
Yeah. So then, again, I'm Angie, by the way. And
Yes, Angie.
I'm just wondering here,
Where's Chuck?
if
Look, we all know Chuck's not really a part of this process. Let's be honest.
Chuck is never
It's
part
all
of the process.
about Angie.
It's Angie's
That's right.
wedding.
I
It's
do
Angie's
have some
wedding.
things for Chuck too.
Yeah. So that's exactly where I'm going to.
Yeah.
So this is Angie. So Chuck doesn't feel like he's getting any part of this. He just feels like he bought me the ring and he says, show up. What can we do for the grooms to make Chuck feel, a little bit happy about having to spend all this money on this ring that cost him like $6,000 and all the honeymoon stuff? What can I do for Chuck and his friends?
Yeah, it's true. So we actually do think our grooms are pretty important. So we actually have a game room at each property. It's called the Bow Tie Club, and it is a shared space. So if there are multiple weddings on one farm on the same day, those guys share that space. But it's a game room where they can play poker, they can have some drinks, they can watch some football. And we find that guys don't have trouble hanging out with each other. if you put a bunch of brides over there, it would be, like WWF over there. But putting a bunch of guys over there, they can hang out and enjoy it. Not to mention, we actually have our ponds that are over here on the main farm stocked. So if some of the guys want to fish during the day, the ladies spend all day getting ready and the guys are just waiting around. So we want to give them something to entertain themselves. And so they can actually fish, catch, and release at our pond. And we actually have a new location. It's called the Floating Axe, which is brand new. And it is actually a private game room that the guys can rent for the day. And so if they want to not have a shared space and they want to have their own really classy game room, that place to hang out, you can get some photos getting ready there, have a private space, that's available as well.
So now that we took care of Angie, we took care of Chuck. Who's the next important person on the list? Let me see if we're going to agree on this. Angie's first,
well,
then Chuck.
I will say the one that is usually the most opinionated and involved is the mother of the bride.
Here we go. Bing, 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 bing. What do you do about the mother and the bride?
Well, they just want their baby to be happy, really, is what it comes down to. I mean, and I can't say that every single mom will be happy because, honestly, sometimes the mom and the bride's priorities are not aligned.
Correct.
But really, when it comes down to it, that's mostly if their baby is happy and her vision is coming, to fulfillment, that's what they really care about. And so, doing our best to prepare the space, make sure tables and chairs are set up properly, make sure it's clean and make sure that, the grounds look nice and, all of those things that, people are paying for the venue. For one, obviously they want to have a beautiful space. They want to have a space if it rains. They want, all of those things. But it's really about the pictures because those are the memories that last and you'll look at in 50 years. And, those are going to be the things that you really want to remember. And so having beautiful places, that's why we have our bridal suite. That's why we have a groom's room, for those pictures getting ready and for a first look and that walking down the aisle moment and, all of those things. So typically, if we can make the bride happy, most of the time, mom and dad are going to be happy.
Gotcha. All right. So without straying too far and without anything personal, can you share with us a super funny story or something that has happened somewhere? Can you share any kind of stories? Whether it was a bridezilla moment, whether it was a momzilla, whether it was somebody just did something really inappropriate, something that's just, because you see different stuff, to DJs, to planners, to everything.
I would say there are more stories that I can't share.
Well, what can you share?
Okay, all right. I will share this story. So this is kind of the reason why we don't allow fire anymore.
All right.
Because, and thank goodness, and I will give a shout out to this planner because she is the reason that the Apple Barn is still standing to this day. But there was a wedding that had a fire pit with real wood in the fire. At some point in the night, a spark got onto one of our vintage couches. Ooh. And this is a Jesse Loga. Jesse Loga is the reason the Apple Barn is still standing today.
Big shout out to Jesse Loga.
Go, Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse Loga.
Yeah.
So she was starting to move furniture back in, and she goes, she couldn't find the spark or anything, but she said, this couch, there's something, she's like, I don't feel comfortable putting it back in. I'm not sure. She called the emergency on call, and it wasn't supposed to rain. We said, just go ahead and leave it outside, just in case. And we came back in the morning, and there was nothing but the couch springs left.
Wow.
It had caught on fire, burnt to the ground. It was on. In fact, we had to have the sidewalk sandblasted at the Apple Barn.
Are you serious?
Because, couch completely melted, the fabric melted into the concrete. And so, again, another reason why planners are so important. She just had this intuition and was like, I don't feel comfortable putting this back in. I can't find anything, but,
she probably
something seems off.
Yeah, it smells like it's on fire.
So,
wow.
Yeah. So it did. I mean, one of our vintage couches was gone, and we were like, you know what? We don't really need to have real fire in our venues anymore.
Ooh, Lordy.
So, So, I mean, I have so many stories. The real thing is that we want people to have a positive experience here. But what happens in general is it's such an emotional day. And a lot of times there's all this pent up emotion. And at some point, somebody will bubble over with emotion, and it doesn't always come out positively. And usually it's just in the moment. And once that is over, we're good. But it could be at us. It could be at a vendor. It could be at each other. There's usually some sort of something that happens around, weddings and events. And we all have stories that we can't, share or, don't want to share. But, amongst all of us, I mean, we share with each other because,
but that was,
that's just part of the fun.
You see what you just did right there? You told a story, and that was a real story. And I want you to understand that's how you tell stories, people. Because we asked DJ Reese to tell a story, and it was the worst story ever. Watch this, Heidi. DJ Reese, tell us a story about something. Watch this story right here, Heidi. Watch this.
Yeah, once there was this bride named Angie. And her and Chuck was getting married.
The ugliest bride. I'm sorry.
Man, she was the ugliest dude I ever seen, man.
Hey, bride.
She was marrying this guy named Chuck. And all of a sudden, just out of the
Your story
blue,
was terrible.
out of the blue, their DJ fired him.
You see, the DJ fired them.
I don't see this marriage between Chuck and Angie lasting.
Oh,
I
my
would say.
gosh.
No,
I would say Angie seems to be really high maintenance. I mean, Reese, I feel like you would know.
She's really high maintenance. She's really demanding.
I tell you, Reese's stories are terrible, man. Just terrible. I have to listen to these stories, too. They're terrible.
I appreciated Reese's story.
No.
Hey, you just better be glad that she even answered the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. Well, you'll have to tell him that story at some point, Reese. So that's between you and me right now.
Yeah.
No, you missed your opportunity today. That would have been a good one.
I know, but I wasn't sure you were there.
Oh, my goodness. All right.
Yeah, you were supposed to text me.
What am I missing? What's going on right now?
We'll
It's
try.
all right. Reese and I have our own thing going on.
What the heck? This is my side piece right here, by the way.
That's why you and Chuck ain't working out.
That's right. That's right.
Hold on, I'm getting a text from Chuck.
saying.
Hold on. Chuck said,
Heidi's one of the coolest people of all time, man. I'm telling you right now. Don't.
You just like me because I have your face on my wall in my office.
Exactly.
Chuck is a little upset right now. He's sending me nasty
Why
texts.
are you texting Chuck? That's what I'm trying to
He
figure
texted
out.
me. He said, man,
Angie, calm down.
He's texting Chuck right in front of me. Golly. But anyway, so Heidi, just share your tags and stuff and anything people need to know. Give some parting words. I want to tell you thank you from the bottom of my heart for appearing and being on my podcast. DJ Reese.
Well, I feel honored to be a guest on your podcast. How Farms, it's how_farms is our Instagram. And we honestly feel incredibly blessed to work with so many great vendors. And, you and Reese are some of the first vendors that I got to know. But, we have such good relationships, and we're so thankful to have so many amazing vendors to recommend and to work with. And really, you guys make us look so good. We wouldn't be the success that we are without all of our vendors that we rely on. So it's such a nice thing to have people that you can confidently recommend.
Can I ask you one more question? One more.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, as I know How Farms, it's pretty big, and y'all doing your thing. Is there ever going to be a point when there's going to be like a vendor room inside the venues, like when we can sit and break?
Listen, I've talked about that. I said we need to build apartments. I think we just need to build apartments for some of you that are out here every weekend, and they can just crash.
Put a mailbox.
Something.
Back to back to back.
Even if it's some small little bungalow or something. Hey, y'all can go in there and, you know what I'm saying, change. There's a locker, hang your clothes, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I'll talk to my people. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
I would be happy with a hook in the bathroom.
That's
man,
it.
I'm telling you. Just something to hang my coat on.
And that's the difference between you and Angie, Reese.
Angie don't need no hooks.
Oh, man. Angie
needs
Angie wants her own room.
She wants her own room with TV.
You're fine with a hook in the bathroom.
He wants she wants a basketball game on or something.
Yep.
Maybe a fridge with some Red Bulls in it or something.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Angie probably drinks Alani's because she's a little.
I don't even know what that is, but
Angie's like a lot of work. I don't know how you do it, Reese. I mean,
Man.
really.
golly.
Well,
I feel like you need to give yourself a raise just from having to deal with Angie day after day.
it's a challenge every day, but I always put myself up to it. Have a good breakfast in the morning. Get my head right.
You do realize Angie can hear both of y'all.
Yes, that's the point.
Angie's right here.
Take notes, Angie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right here. Man, I just want to tell you thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you all the time.
I'm so honored
you know
to
this.
be a part of the show. And love seeing your success, you guys, and thank you for being some incredible House Farms vendors. We really, really appreciate you.
Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause to the one and only Heidi Ingersoll. Did I say that right? Heidi Ingersoll.
You did. Nailed it.
Hold on, I'm going to give you some partner music right now. Some partner music. Reese, she's ready for partner music. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go. Here we go. Do you know this?
I can't hear anything.
Can't you hear it?
I don't know.
I can't hear anything. But I'm gonna trust that
It's
you
good.
made an excellent choice.
Trust it.
It probably won't because you're on Bluetooth.
Yeah, that's why. We're still figuring out
All right,
certain
yeah.
things. But
That's
thank
all
you
right.
again.
Yeah, you guys have a good day. Hey, and I don't think I forgot your birthday's coming up.
That's right. And look, send me a nice picture so we can put it up on the page when we do this one. Send me.
I'll talk to my my bestie photographer friend and see what I can do.
I was trying to avoid this part of the conversation.
Angie, calm down.
I'm trying to avoid this part. You bring it up. It's my
All
arch
right,
rival
guys,
right there.
enjoy your day.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Spin Cycle, DJ Dirty Launch the Game, DJ Reese Barnell, producer extraordinaire.
Yes.
It's time to go.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
I'm already.
Hey, think you can
That's
tell
right.
us what to do?
Season 2. We out.
You can tell us what to wear.